The Swiss Alps fog colonizes, not drifts, cloaking Elias in isolation at his remote chalet. He arrives with an encrypted drive, certain its data could topple a tech giant. By the third night, peace turns to suspense. The silence grows thicker than the mist. A grandfather clock ticks, impossibly, through the vents. The sound matches Elias's own heartbeat. His satellite phone is dead, surgically wiped. Panic slices deep. He's completely cut off. A white envelope waits under the mat outside. No footprints mar the fresh snow. Inside, a Polaroid of Elias, taken secretly moments ago. A masked figure stands behind him. The reflection's mask is an old ledger page. The figure holds a finger to its lips. Elias races to wipe the drive. His laptop whispers in a voice stitched from his old calls. Numbers always balance, Elias. You took what wasn't yours. The message chills him. Only his handler and sister had the chalet's location. Realization dawns. He was bait, not hunter. The lights die. The gas stove clicks in darkness. Sulfur fills the suffocating air. Heavy boots echo below. The front door opens with a key, not force. A voice greets him. The board sends regrets and no pension plan. The predator ascends, exit sealed. Flare fire. It's the intruder who brushes off the burning ember as if nothing. Elias bargains, but the man reveals another drive. Keys were never needed, only disappearance. Elias reached the loft and grabbed a flare gun from the kit. His hand shook so violently the plastic casing rattled. He could see the silhouette of the man, standing at the bottom of the stairs, tall, lean, and draped in a charcoal overcoat that seemed to absorb the little light left. The man wasn't rushing. He was a predator who knew the exits were already sealed. "You think you're the first whistleblower we've tracked to these mountains?" the man asked, his shadow stretching long and distorted up the staircase. The Alps are full of men who thought they could change the world with a spreadsheet. They make excellent fertilizer for the spring edelweiss. The man began to climb, each step deliberate and heavy. Elias aimed a flare gun. "I sent the files," he lied, his voice cracking. The moment the phone died, an automated pulse sent everything to the press. "If I die, the company dies with me." The man paused on the 10th step, tilting his head like a curious bird. A low, chilling laugh vibrated through the room. "We cut the fiber optic cables in the valley 2 hours ago." "Elias," the man said softly, "you've been shouting into a vacuum." The man reached the top of the stairs. The ledger page mask now visible in the moonlight. The ink on the mask was fresh. It was the names of the accounts Elias had been investigating, written in a cramped, obsessive hand. Elias pulled the trigger. The flare erupted in a blinding flash of crimson phosphorus, screaming across the small gap between them. It struck the man's shoulder, but instead of a cry of pain, there was only the sound of sizzling fabric. The man didn't fall. He didn't even flinch. He simply reached up and brushed the burning ember off his coat, as if it were a stray hair. "Wait," Elias gasped, backing toward the window that overlooked a 300-foot drop into the ravine. "The drive. There's a second partition. I have the keys to the offshore accounts. You need me." The man stopped. The mask shifted as he smiled underneath. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a drive identical to the one on Elias's desk. "We don't need the keys, Elias," the man whispered, standing just inches away. "We needed the witness to disappear in a way that looked like a tragic accident involving a faulty gas line." He glanced toward the kitchen downstairs, where the clicking of the stove had finally stopped, replaced by the hiss of a concentrated leak. The man turned and walked back down the stairs, leaving the front door wide open. Elias lunged for the opening, thinking it was his chance, but as he reached the threshold, he saw the faint glow of a cigarette cherry in the darkness of the woods outside. Just one man. A circle of shadows stood in the tree lean, waiting for the spark. Elias looked back at his laptop. The screen suddenly flickered to life one last time. It wasn't showing his data. It was a live feed of his sister's living room in London, where a white envelope sat on her coffee table. The realization hit him harder than any explosion could. The ledger always balanced. He stepped back into the gas-filled house and closed the door.